You're welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. And if you're just joining us tonight, our conversation tonight centers on the coup allegations and, the military crisis. And we're wondering, is Nigeria's democracy under threat from within? Let's hear what you have to say. This conversation has been running for a few days now, and so I'm guessing you have what to say, really. So remember, you can join the conversation by sending me an SMS or a WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. And also the phone lines are open. You can call us on 070-2500-7749 and also on 0701 420. Let's hear what you have to say. Now, you see, for many Nigerians, right, this particular news, it stirs old memories. Memories from way back, memories of fear, uncertainty, and a time when democracy was silenced by the sound of boots. So as the military begins its probe, right, we're asking what's really brewing within the ranks? What really is the problem? Is this a genuine threat to civilian authority? Or is it simply a mirror reflecting the frustration of a society under pressure? Because, you see, when a nation's soldiers, right, begin to even doubt the system that they serve, it's beyond a military issue now. It's now a national warning sign. Right? I mean, we are here as civilians. We're talking about how bad the situation in Nigeria has become. And, oh, the other day we're talking about, I mean, what we think is wrong in the military these days, in the force, right? Where everybody is angry, anger issues, people are killing themselves, people are hurting others, And now, this allegation of coups and here and there, it's frightening, it's scary, right? So we're thinking now, are we going back to the military regime? Yes, arrest has been made, the officers that are suspected to have organized all of these things have been taken to custody, but we're asking, right, is this going to be like one of the situations we saw in Congo? Or, I mean, for the past how many months, or I think a year plus now, we've seen situations in most of the African countries where there's been an overturn, right? The military are taking over, this is happening, that is happening. And is Nigeria going to toe that path, right? Is there something brewing in the background that we don't know about, right? I mean, all over the world, we've seen in Nepal, we've seen in different places, we're seeing a lot of things going on, right? And we're asking, is Nigeria going to become a victim of these things as well? If the military themselves don't even trust the system themselves, are we not in trouble like this? Anyway, I mean, I'm not going to be doing this by myself, right? I have my guest with me, Comrade Dr. Awal Abdullahi Aliyu, Secretary General, Military Veterans Federation of Nigeria. And he's going to be joining me to unpack this whole development, because we need some more insight to it, right? We need some more. It's scary, like I say, but let me meet my guest. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the show.
Very much. How are we? How are things today?
Great, amazing. Thank you for joining. If I was, when I saw this news, I think you were the first person that came to mind, because we need a lot of clarity, right? Anyway, so you see, the military says about 20 of the officers have been detained for this alleged coup plot, right? From a security standpoint, how credible do you think these reports seem? And what does a coup investigation typically involve at this level of command?
Well, thank you very much. First and foremost, the military says that the defense spokesperson, Brigadier General Tuku, says that 16 officers were being are detained, are being interrogated. And their defense, the detention and interrogation is related to various military discipline matters, from non-performance. Before you get promoted from one rank to the other, naturally you attend some courses that will qualify you to move to the next rank. And then when the time comes, you are going to fill some some data. There's a data form that a little booklet that you fill, then that is one that it will be used to assess you, and that is what will be used to qualify you, whether you are due or you are qualified or suitable for promotion to the next rank or not. And then during the various courses and examinations, and then this data processing and what have you, there is it's a whole board that will sit and look at that and come up with a recommendation.
Comrade, sir, we're struggling to hear you. Can you hear us, sir?
Council, if it is the Air Force Council, if it is the Navy Council, then putting everything up together, the Defense Council, clearly. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So there are processes that are being followed before you, a military officer, get promoted. You have to attend courses, like I said earlier. There's going to be pro forma access of the performance, and then what have you. So as that performance, accessing that performance, and then various courses, examinations, and what have you that will be done, if one is found wanting, you know, the Army is a highly disciplined organization, highly disciplined. So if one is found wanting, naturally he will have to explain. A board of inquiry will have to be set up to investigate why such an officer failed to to qualify or fail to reach the standard, or why does he have to fail examination, or why does he, one case or the other. I guess that is what the defense spokesperson was speaking about, that he said it emphatically, there was no coup and coup plot. If the defense headquarters says there's no coup plot or there's nothing like that, I think the right thing and the fair thing to do is for us to accept what the defense headquarters has said, because what Brigadier General Coup said, he's speaking on behalf of the tri-service, that is speaking on behalf of the armed forces, because the defense headquarters is the center. The Air Force, Navy, Army are all under the defense headquarters. That is under the Chief of Defense Staff now. Yeah. So and that person is the spokesperson of defense headquarters, which means he cannot speak a word of his own. He has to say what the defense headquarters is saying. He only speaks the voice of the defense headquarters, not his personal opinion, but the opinion of defense. So as expressed by him, I want to call the attention of Nigerians to agree that if the defense headquarters said there's no coup plot, then we should go in line with that and agree that there's no coup plot. In any case, Nigeria is too matured, and then Nigerians are not interested, as so to say, right now for anything that is outside a democratic government. And I will tell you that the military today, or the armed forces today, is very, very professional. I don't think the armed forces will be involved. That is the higher authority now will be involved in anything that will have to do with military coup or change of government, because luckily enough for President Tinubu, he brought in professionals as the heads of the arms of the armed forces. What I mean by the heads, that is the service chiefs, from the chief of defense staff himself, to the chief of army staff, to the chief of naval staff, to the chief of air staff. These guys are professionals, well-trained, highly disciplined people. He actually succeeded in, the man has succeeded in accessing the right people for the right job. So this is why they distance themselves. I will give you an example. You recall during the protest, there was a protest that Nigerians were flying the flag of Russia and what have you and what have you. You recall that even Nigerians were making a lot of noise. But you see how the military stood very professional. Very, very professional. Even if there were going to be anything like that, it would have taken place that very time. Not now that anybody or group of few people, even if that, as Nigerians are insinuating, will come up with any plan to unseat the government. And in any case, let us look at the so far, so to say, from Sahara reporters, because all these things Coup issue started from Sahara reporters. Okay. From Sahara reporters to all other mediums that took. Yes, the one I saw, actually, the first one that I saw, that I read it from Sahara reporters, and subsequent ones were coming before a lot of media house, online medias begin to carry. And also some of this news, there are news that are not verified. You just say, one media house take it up, the next media house will also link with that and give the same story, the next media, like that. I was thinking there's going to be a thorough investigative journalism to investigate thoroughly, to get the actual fact before going to press. But going to press before investigating, yeah.
Yes, sorry to cut you, right? So I hear you. You said, if they said there's no coup, there's no coup. And of course, they had earlier told us that, there's no cause for alarm, and all of that. But, we've seen a couple of times that coups thrive where governance fails, right? So does this development suggest deep frustration within the ranks, over leadership, welfare, and even the direction of the country? Is it suggestive in any way?
Well, to be honest with you, I would think it would be unfair to suggest that the military echelon, that is the higher authorities of the military, are withholding the welfare of its members. I think it would be disservice to them. It would be unfair to the armed forces if the other officers, the junior officers, because will think that they are not getting what they want. I think, from what I know, and I stand to be corrected, is that the military authority, the armed forces, are giving out whatever is due to whoever is due whenever it is due. We are in the era of social media. If you do anything, or any of the higher authority, even if among the service chiefs, if somebody does something that is it infringes on the fundamental human right, as well as the work ethics of the tri-service, somebody somewhere among the members of the armed forces, somebody will leak something that will express or indicate that some things are not right. But you can see that I have not seen such a thing. Well, some times ago, somebody brought up something that has to do with the feeding of the men at the field, and then immediately you saw that the armed forces immediately come up, set up an investigation committee, that is board of inquiry, to go and investigate the authenticity of that claim, and then report, and then for action to be taken. So what I'm saying in essence is that the armed forces is proactive, and is loyal to the civil authority. They keep on repeating it. Both the Air Force, Navy, and the Army, and of course their mother, the Defense Headquarters, will always say that their loyalty is to the civil authority. Their loyalty is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And they are keeping to that tenant. And that is the reason why they are, let's even assume that what the people are saying, that there was a coup scare or coup attempt, let's even assume that anything like that happened. You can see that even if there is, then it has been nipped immediately, which indicates loyalty of the service to the nation, loyalty of the service to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Quickly going into whatever it is and then making a statement. What I'm saying in essence is that I don't believe that there's anything like a coup attempt. If there were to be, I see no reason why the Defense Headquarters will say that there's none. I mean, there's nothing to hide. That is to tell, in fact, by bringing it out, if there's any, it will suggest that somebody tried to do something, or some group of people tried to do something, but the armed forces are so professional they were able to dictate it timely and then nip it before it gets to where it's supposed to get to. If there were to anything like that. But as now, I don't know why Nigerians will insist that there is a coup attempt when the armed forces, the defense headquarters, which is the umbrella or the mother, of the armed forces, now saying there is no such thing. We did not say such things. We do not have any such things. Why are the people insisting or propagating that there is such a thing? So, I don't think it is healthy for the country.
Yeah. So if, of course, the coup attempt is not genuine, right? What are the risks of using coup narratives to manipulate public opinion and intimidate critics?
Well, who is now manipulating the opinion of the people, or who is intimidating the critics? If you listen to the words as released by Defense Headquarters, there was no intimidating statement and there was no manipulation. It's a one straight talk, straight, simple narrative. There was nothing from what the Defense Headquarters released that indicate manipulation of opinion or trying to dampen the morale or refuse to allow anybody to express himself. Up till now, if you look at it, even though there's a lot of rumor flying in, in fact, I saw another one that says that it is even indicating the names, suggestive names of people that possibly were detained based on the expression of the Defense Headquarters, and some people are insinuated. I even saw another one that said a certain governor, former governor of certain region in Southwest or thereabout, that is being investigated. I saw another one this afternoon that is saying that both the Southwest and the Northern former governors are being investigated. I saw when the spokesperson of ADC also come to make his own statement. So people are coming to say, everybody is saying his opinion, people are expressing what they feel, but what I think is Nigerians should be patriotic enough to agree that we have a democratic government in Nigeria, as elected democratically by Nigerians. And even if Nigerians have a disagreement with the government, there are so many other ways to express it instead of manipulating or trying to instigate or trying to formulate whether a phantom coup attempt. As far as I'm concerned, is a phantom coup attempt has been suggested by mostly online media, because this report, it has not been reported by mainstream media to say that they have confirmed it. And also don't forget, where there are coup plot in most cases, you find that international media will carry it. Have you seen any international media so far carrying anything that is such related? In countries where there were such attempts, you will recall that major international medias carry that news and fly it around. But did you see any international media carrying such news of any coup attempt in Nigeria? Those guys have insiders. They have people who do real investigative journalism. But there was no such news from any international media that is expressing that there was such a thing happening in Nigeria or attempted, or there was any such an attempt. It is a simple military procedure. When officers are erred in their job, when they did the wrong thing, of course, the military will set up first and foremost, the thing the military do, whether senior or junior officer, is to detain you. While you are being detained, investigation will be carried out on whatever offense that you have been alleged to have committed.
Okay. Comrade, sir, I'm so sorry to cut you. We're going to go on a very short break, really short. And then when we come back, you continue your train of thoughts. Please stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. We have been talking about the coup attempt, alleged coup attempt that was supposed to, or that they said was going to happen in Nigeria. And I have with me Comrade Awal Abdullahi, who is trying to help us unpack the whole development. So, Comrade, thank you for staying tuned. Right? I mean, I follow what you're saying. I understand, your point of view. But now, here is my question, right? The military, of course, you've said, oh, they are subject to civilian authority and all of that. Now, of course, they insist that they remain loyal to democracy, of course. But is loyalty still guaranteed in a system, you know, where the force, some people in the force feel economically and institutionally neglected? Take, for instance, the police force, right? So we sometimes, some time back, we saw the retired staff of the Nigerian police force protesting, you know, and all of those things. So do you think that this loyalty is actually guaranteed in a system like that?
I can tell you that every system has its own fault.
Okay.
Every system has its own shortfall. There's no system all over the world that is perfect. Okay. There's no perfect system. Even in America, where we borrowed democracy, where almost the whole world is looking up to for technological development, technological advancement, sticking to work ethics, sticking to work value, you know, sticking to timing, ensuring the right thing is done at the right time, in the right way, in the right place. You know, even at that, they have their own shortfalls, they have their own weaknesses when it comes to perfection. You will see that the president is doing things that the Americans themselves are disagreeing with him and disagreeing with a lot of his decisions. In fact, there was even protests in some states where they are protesting against the decisions of Donald Trump. And that is a country that Nigeria borrowed democracy from. And that is a country that has practiced democracy for over 200 years. Ours is just how many years? A little, not up to 30 years of practicing democracy up till today. And America is over about 230 years of practicing democracy. So you see, there's no system that is perfect. So you don't expect the Nigerian system to be different from any other one. In any case, we have our own way of doing things in Nigeria. That is not to say that it is right to do the wrong thing. No, the right thing must be seen to be done at the right time, you know, so that Nigeria will be bigger and greater and better. And I also tell you about this protest of police pensioners. I also saw a clip where the Inspector General of Police is totally disagreeing with the pension payment system of the police. Okay. I saw it in I think in fact, I still have that clip in my phone right now. I can send that clip to you after this interview, where the Inspector General of Police himself, the present Inspector General of Police, is disagreeing with the pension payment system for the police and insisting that it should be reverted back from these pension fund administrators to police pension fund properly. You know, just like the military have their own, the police should also have their own to exit the pension fund administrators saying that is where the personnel are being, retired personnel are being short paid because of the policy, their own, that is because of the policy of those systems. I saw where he said it emphatically, that he has written, or the police authority have written to the necessary higher authority, telling them and requesting that the police should be exited from the present pension administration that is handling the police pension, so that they independent, because the man said he's not happy with the complaint of the police and that their complaint of the retirees is genuine, that he's bothered about it. I saw that clip, I have that clip. So you see, that is to tell you that the authority is working towards, even the police authority are working towards bettering the life of the serving and the retired. This is his word. I can quote it directly to make sure we better the life of both our serving and retired personnel, as we too will be retiring when our time comes. So it means he's already looking ahead on when he also will be leaving the job, and then you want to leave the job proud, saying that he has done something for the police, that the police will be appreciative of him.
Okay, comrade.
In terms of that.
Yeah, comrade. So, I mean, you're saying a whole lot of things, right? And sometimes it's a bit difficult to accept regarding, especially with the things we see. I mean, we're not in the military to see the things that are panning out, but from our own point of view, sometimes it's hard to take this. But let me ask you, how can we strengthen both democracy and discipline within the military without triggering mistrust between the soldiers and the civilians? Because from what we're seeing, I'm going to cite police brutality as an example. With the rise of police brutality, the increase, right, civilians find it difficult to believe that the police is your friend, right? And with some things, we also see some harassments, per se, we see on the road sometimes. We also find it difficult to, liaise with these soldiers also as people who we can trust with our lives and properties. So how can we strengthen democracy and discipline at the same time so that we will not trigger mistrust between the soldiers and the civilians?
Well, thank you very much. Strengthening democracy, I will simply put it this way to you. One, the Nigerian armed forces, from the defense headquarters to army headquarters to naval headquarters to air force headquarters, all they have, under the leadership of the present Chief of Defense Staff General C.G. Musa, have established defense media relation departments. You understand? Mm-hmm. The chief of the army had, under the Chief of Army Staff General, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluide, have this Army Civil Military Relation Department, Defense Civil Military Relation Department, Air Force Civil Military Relation Department, Naval Civil Military Relation Department. Why it is established in defense, it has been replicated in the tri-service, so that the issue of civilian-military relationship will be well strengthened, so that the military-civilian relationship will be well understood, so that the working relationship properly coordinated. Where there are challenges between the civilians and the military, that department is there to handle such a thing, to harness it, to fine-tune it, to make things work the way they are supposed to be, reaching out to the community, making them understand that the military is a servant of the people, obeying the Constitution, serving the people, and making the people understand that the military, under a civil democratic dispensation, is also thinking in line with the civil administration and also thinking in line with the civilian populace of the country, meanwhile upholding their professional calling. And ensuring that nothing infringes in their professional callings. This is what is going on. So you see, there is already a measure or a step that has been taken by the defense headquarters and the tri-service of sustaining and maintaining a very good relationship between the military and the civil authority, between the military and the civil populace of the country. Where there is an infringement of the fundamental human right of any civilian, for you to go, the present crops of service chiefs that we have under the Chief of Defense Staff, and of course, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluide, the Chief of Air Staff, and the Chief of Naval Staff, all are no-nonsense officers when it comes to the issue of discipline. They don't play with the discipline of the troops, just like they don't play with the welfare of the troops. Because if the troops are not disciplined, then there's a problem, because the armed forces is relying on the disciplined nature of its personnel to be able to carry out its activities successfully on hindrance, because discipline gives birth to loyalty. It is discipline that gives birth to loyalty. It is the same discipline that gives birth to patriotism. So we have patriotic umpires, we have patriotic service chiefs, let me use this word, heads of the armed forces, and say when the head is good, the whole body will be good. But when the head is bad, then the whole body will be bad. We are lucky to have the good heads now, so the body is getting cleansed. Yes, I cannot say there are no bad eggs. In fact, even within a family, you will find a bad egg. But where you have 95 over 100 or even 90 over 100, it is a distinction, even from the secondary school to the tertiary institution, where you have 90%, you have a distinction. So, and like I said, there's no family that you don't have troubleshooters. So it is in order. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So there is respect for constitutional authority by the military. There is a relationship between the military and the civil population of Nigeria.
Okay, comrade, just before I let you go, finally, what role is the National Assembly going to play right now in this investigation ongoing, right? Are they playing the role of, silent observers, or are they going to be active overseers of the investigation? Just 2 minutes, sir.
Well, like you know, naturally, the military's the code of conduct of the military work or the job of the armed forces does not entail interference of investigation by any other body apart from the military itself. Okay. It is a disciplined organization. It has every structure that you need. You are aware that the Army, the Defense Headquarters have Defense Intelligence Agency, Army have military intelligence, Air Force have air intelligence, Navy has naval intelligence. And all these ones are doing the job of investigation and things like that. So I don't think it is necessary for the National Assembly to say they want to interfere with what is going on under the armed forces. Well, it has never been done before, unless if this is the first time that it will be started. And I don't think the National Assembly will want to get itself interfering into a job that does not really consign them. And I don't know if this is a professional calling. These guys that are doing investigation under the DIA or the military intelligence or air or naval intelligence are well-trained officers and men, well-trained to do their job, to carry out their responsibility. So if someone who is not well-trained, who does not know, even if he's there, he may not understand what is going on. So therefore, I don't think the National Assembly will want to get itself involved into this. It's better the National Assembly continue to do its oversight function over the executive, not to get itself involved in a civil, military. They are not soldiers, so why should they get involved in military activities? I think they should just allow the military to do its in the way it's usually been done.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Awal. This has been a great conversation. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. But do have a good evening. All right. So you see, they say the truest test of democracy is how it responds to threats from within, not from without. Now, if, of course, these coup allegations are real, which, they're telling us there's no cause for alarm. But if they are real, they expose faults in faulty lines in trust, commands, and the very soul of our republic. Right? But if the plot is an illusion, manufactured or maybe exaggerated, it risks undermining military morale and civilian oversight too. But in the coming weeks, right, Nigerians must demand more than statements. We need transparency, credible investigations, and independent oversight. Because democracy is not just a system of government. It's a trust pact between citizens and their institutions. And that pact is fragile, especially when power struggles, move into the shadows. Well, like we said, we're going to watch. In the coming weeks, we hope something positive comes out of all of this. But that's all I have for you tonight. And just before I go, if you missed our quote earlier, here it is. It says, a coup does not solve a nation's problems. It only postpones its reckoning. And this was said by our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. My name is Chioma Kalu, and this has been Waste Prime Time. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.